Hey neighbor, welcome back to Beyond ARTV. My name is John and it's time for a track review of the first new 21 Pilots single since the release of their amazing album Trench in 2018. That might just have been their best work to date. It's a fascinating record with a great storyline and just some great theatricality to the music that I continuously go back to. The name of the new song is Level of Concern, and of course it's timely for a very good reason, more so than we even thought before probably. Tyler Joseph, the leader of this duo, had been tweeting out that he'd been writing songs, but this one felt like it needed to come out now. A portion of the proceeds and the profits from this track are going to Crew Nation by Live Nation, I believe, supporting the workers that are laid off because of the coronavirus. And of course, there is a level of concern to be had from us all because we're all worried. Most of us are quarantined, and that is name-checked directly in this song. So yes, already COVID-19 is being memorialized in song forever. So this track in particular is simple but hopeful. That's how Tyler himself described it. He sent over the files to Josh Dunn, the drummer, and he tweeted that out. Of course, Josh replying, saying that he's sending them back, and now we have a completed track, and this came out so quickly, and it doesn't feel necessarily like a rushed product in a way. It does feel a little bit gimmicky in the sense that it is very on the nose, and I feel like a lot of the clique, a lot of the 21 Pilots fandom are going to try and twist this to be like, oh, it fits into Trench in this way, and this is the evolution of the story, etc., etc. It's not always entirely about that, and I feel like people might probably try to dig too much into this, but it really is just kind of a straightforward track. It talks about nervousness. It talks about how Tyler hasn't been this worried since the first time that he asked out his now wife. They have a child together now. Congratulations on that, of course. Little Rosie has been born to the world, and now new 21 Pilots has been born. So how am I feeling about it? Well, at first listen, I don't think I cared for it all that much because of maybe the simplicity, and maybe I'm used to a little bit more in terms of depth to the lyrics and everything like that. But I tried to remind myself that it's not entirely about that. It's kind of a fun track, kind of quelling worries, scorching fears, if you will. And I think that the track does accomplish that. There's a nice little bass groove going on here. Tyler Joseph using an electric guitar, writing it on an electric guitar for the first time ever. I think I might have set my expectations a bit too high. Maybe I was thinking something more along the lines of jumpsuit and heavier and harder and everything like this. This is putting up flames in a different way. It's twisting them and bending the narrative to fit our current situation for the world. And I do think that a lot of people are going to have very fond memories of this someday in the future. When we do have the brighter times, we can look back to this. And while I don't care for some of the cheesy lines like wondering would you be my little quarantine, I can mostly get over them. I don't think it's their top tier track or anything like that. But I also don't know if they were gunning for that in the first place. I think it's something simple that they've put out in order to not only appease their own fans, but the world at large. And I feel that it's a good track that does its job there. There are some catchy guitars here. The pitch-shifted vocals in the intro sound a little bit off to me, and I think that it does take a minute to get going, but the groove does pick up. There's a bass tempo there. I like Tyler's vocals. They do kind of have a bounce to them, and this entire track does as a whole. The pianos during the hook, those keyboard parts that pop up are actually quite nice. And Josh's drums, they're nothing exactly that excel totally beyond anything that he's ever done before, but still, for what the track calls for, which is a poppier affair, I would say that they work quite nicely. The hook to it totally pops off. It gets embedded in your head immediately. Cause I told you my level of concern, it's already floating around up there. I think that it's going to be endlessly catchy. It's going to be looped for a lot of people during these days of isolation. I hope that everyone out there is hanging in there because in general, I think that that's what this song is trying to do. I'm going a little bit stir crazy myself, so maybe it is nice to have something simple to just turn off your brain to, dance to a little bit, because this song does feel like it has a good message to it. He's talking about being in a bunker. I've told you how I'm concerned, but you walked by, you didn't care. Maybe it's a slight commentary on some of the people that aren't taking it seriously, but at the same time, I think that the track could apply to various different situations even after this pandemic hopefully passes in the coming weeks and the coming months, everything like that. I would love to know what you guys are thinking, because for me personally, again, I don't think it's their best material, not by a long shot, but it's still not bad. It really worked its way into my head, and I'm starting to come around on certain aspects that I didn't care for as much. I wouldn't say that I was ever feeling like, oh my god, super critical towards it, but at the same time, I've warmed up to it, and I would love to know, did it take 1, 5, 10 listens for you? Sound off in the comments section. I'm going to give this track a 3.5 out of 5, and of course I do rate partially based on what I think the band or artist is capable of. And I think that this did come together quickly. It shows that Tyler is very capable of making something extremely catchy. It doesn't feel cheap or like a knockoff or anything like that. There is a viable, kind of poppy tendency, alternative pop feel to it that does have some spirited guitars. I could easily see alternative stations picking this up and it becoming a big hit. But anyways, any and all thoughts are welcomed in the comment section down below. The music video was pretty cute too. I enjoyed seeing both of their families, and it came together obviously quickly. Low production budget, naturally filmed by the band members themselves. If you're wondering my thoughts there, I like the ending a lot. If you want to catch my review of Trench, then you can see that album review right here, or tap here for another TOP themed video. Other than that, socials can be found in the description, and I'll see you soon for more on Beyond ARTV.